My name is Mohammed Abu Jafal. I'm a Sitecore architect at Tanasal Technology. Today I'll be talking about Sitecore Send, previously known as MooSend. But first, let me introduce myself. Here are my social links. If anyone would like to say hi, you're welcome. Before we talk about Sitecore Send or MooSend, let's take a step back and see why we need a new email marketing platform. Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with AXM, right? So, as George and all speakers said, and as you all know from Symposium, Sitecore is moving forward with a complete composable DXP. So, what is actually a composable DXP? It's the one that is entirely modular. So it contains multiple composite components that communicate with each other through APIs. And of course, one of these components is the email marketing platform, which is an integral part for any DXP. So if Sitecore were shopping for a new email marketing platform, why MooSend? According to G2 reviews, which was based on actual users that use the platform, MooSend is one of the best email marketing platforms for following reasons. The first one is ease of setup. In this category, MooSend scored like 9.2, which is above average, and even bypassed the well-known email marketing platform like Mailchimp. It's really easy to set it up. It will take only a few clicks, enter a few information in the weather setup, and you're ready to go. The next reason is also ease of use. It's really easy to use. There's no much training required if you're a client that creating your own campaign and sending your emails to your end users. The last one, which is also important in the Sitecore world, is the quality of support. Their support is make them one of the top email marketing platforms out there. Okay, so what Sitecore Send actually offers us as customers, of course, a lot of features. One of them is an all-in-one marketing platform. You got the core features of any email marketing platform. You can set up your email campaign. You can even import your existing email template or choose from a wide range of templates available in the marketplace, or what they call template library. They have a really cutting-edge newsletter editor that you can create a newsletter from scratch or import it from the library, all by just drag and drop some of the widgets and the controllers. And even you can edit these components inline, more like what we use in Experience Editor, but much faster, of course. And you've got also cutting-edge personalization using their marketing forms. You can manage your audience using Sitecore Send through segmentation. You can create or break down your email list through segmentation by applying tags. And also there's a criteria editor that you can control or add whatever in equation-like method. You also have CRM tools. You can manage your subscribers in bulk. You can display all the data coming from the platform in one dashboard. Every place, every data you need, like to monitor your managed list, email campaigns in one place. And also you can have custom reports built for you, which you can export and filter as you need. You also get landing pages that could drive your acquisition rate. Back in Sitecore, we used to use Sitecore Forms to build such marketing forms, but in Sitecore Send, you can build it here. You have also a lot of templates for the subscription form, whether it's a pop-up, it's one in the footer. You can customize it to your need, or you can also pick out-of-the-box ones. Of course, any email marketing platform has to have marketing automation. And it's, back in EXM, you used or in Sitecore, we have marketing automation, but here the advantage is that there's a lot of built-in workflows that can work for you out of the box. And you also can build your own workflow. Also with e-commerce API, you can integrate Sitecore Send with your e-commerce site, and you can send product recommendation based on the user activity on your website or buying history. Sitecore Send also comes with a tracking feature called MoTrack. When set up with your website, you can track your users' actions, your user behavior on your website, and this data can come back to the Sitecore Send, so you can view all this behavior in the reporting and analytics. So how can someone set up Sitecore Send? Sitecore Send comes with 3 subscriptions. One is that totally free at no cost forever, and you get the core features. The other one is Pro. Of course, it adds more features to your subscription. And the last one, the Enterprise, it's a custom plan that you agree with the customer and add whatever features you need for your business. And this alone is a step forward in Sitecore. I mean, it's never been easier to use one of Sitecore components or products without going back to your sales representative. So there's easy steps to set up your first account. All what you need is a business email. And this email will be used as your default sender email, unless you go and add more senders. And after that, you need a subdomain and a password, and you should be ready to go. Of course, in the paid subscription, you can build your custom or configure your custom domain. This one will be used in your landing pages. If you direct the user from the email he received to a landing page, it's nice to see your brand instead of sub-brand or subdomain with MooSend.com. Most of these fields are optional, but it's some information about your company. Then you're ready to go. When you first use the new account, instead of dashboard, you will see this nice onboarding setup. It also has this progress indicator. It will guide you through step by step. If you notice here, these are locked down because you have to fill the first step first, which is the from and email for the sender. This one that your customers will see when they receive your email. Of course, you can add multiple senders. And once you finish this one, you will be guided to the next step, which is the mailing list, equivalent to the list manager that we have in the current XP. Of course, you can add multiple mailing lists, and each mail list can have segments and members, and also custom fields. In Sitecore Send, custom fields is part of the mailing list, not from the contact profile. So each list can create different custom fields, and you can move these custom fields between lists. So to create a mailing list, you only have to choose a name for this mail list, and it will create an empty one, most likely as we do in Sitecore XP nowadays by clicking just empty contact list. So once the list is created, you can add members manually, one by one, or you can go to the batch actions where you can import a list of subscriptions from Excel, CSV, and other bulk actions. You can configure some settings also, or you can create your custom fields. Out of the box, you get 3 fields, which is the name, an email, and mobile. And when you're creating any new field, you will get this token that you can use in your email templates. So now that you have your mailing list set up, you have the from email set up, it's time, or you can now go the third step and create your campaign. Sitecore Send provide these different campaigns. One of them is the regular campaign. You design your template, and you use to send it to any of the mailing list. The content could be imported from a default template, or you can bring your old templates as well. In AP split campaign, which is a really nice feature here, you create two versions of your template. And when the campaign starts working, it sends the two versions at the same time equally between the contacts and the list. And at the same time, it measures the performance of each version. And when it's decide which versions is performing better, it uses it for the rest of the list. Repeatable HTML campaign, it's the same concept with the regular campaign, but instead of having to create your template inside Sitecore Send, you just give it a URL of a web page or any content, and it will import it from there. RS is the same, but it will take an RS feed URL instead of page URL. To create a campaign, you have a simple form that you need to fill. The campaign name, of course, the subject of the email, and a preview text. The preview text is optional. It's usually some email application. Show it as a teaser test right next to the subject line. And you need to configure or choose one of your senders as the one to use for the reply. And if you need confirmation for the email sent, you also need to choose one of the emails. You have an option to track your campaign in Google Analytics if that integration is set up already. And of course, if you enable track your campaign revenue, MooSend will track your campaign's events and views, and orders if you integrate this with e-commerce. Next step is that you will choose one of your mailing lists to be used in this campaign. Next, you will choose which type of content you need. You have the plain text only. Of course, tracking will not all tracking features will work in this case. But the only advantage of it that you will make sure everyone receive it and see it clearly. Some email applications might block the HTML template. And HTML and plain text, it's better for all tracking features. If you choose the HTML template, this is the editor of your newsletter or email. You have 3 sections here that you can change the structure of the template or add elements to it, like controls like the image, text. And of course, you can pick from the template library over here. You can preview it. You can start, you can start testing this template or view it in mobile mode. Once the design looks exactly as you want, you can schedule delivery, which is the last step of the campaign. You can either send it immediately or schedule it for a later delivery. This feature enables a schedule automated resending. Not sure if anyone will use it or not, but it will monitor the emails. If a customer didn't open the email in certain time, it will keep resending the email. Once you finish creating the campaign, it will appear in this campaign dashboard, and you can see a lot of good information already, like the click rate, the open rate, and what's the status of the campaign. If it's ready to send, if it's sending, or it's complete. Okay, what's about integration? Sitecore Send or MooSend out of the box has multiple ways of integration. The first one, if you use the native application already implemented in Sitecore Send, they have a lot of apps like integration with the Drupal, Magento, WordPress, stuff like that. If not, you can use Zapier. For anyone who's not familiar with Zapier, it's an automation workflow tool, which is integrated already with hundreds of apps. And one of them is MooSend. So, for example, you can set up a workflow to insert a member in your mailing list if someone submits your Google form. The other option, since Sitecore Send is also on Mac architecture, it's API first. So everything you have in the platform, you will have an API for it. So here, there's no limitation. You can integrate it through the API the way you like it. Okay, what about Sitecore integration? Sitecore already provided a blueprint of 3 scenarios that you can integrate Sitecore Send with Sitecore product starting from today. One is how to integrate it with Content Hub. The other one is with Order Cloud. And this one explains how to integrate it with Sitecore WC or XM, Experience Manager. To integrate it with Experience Manager, actually there's 3 cases they mention in this article or blueprint. First one, you need to implement this integration with DXP in mind. So you need to define the boundaries and make sure that separation of concerns here. Sitecore XM will play the role of your content management only. Anything related to campaigns, emails, templates should be handled using Sitecore Send. So in order to achieve that, the first step is you need to add the tracker from MooSend or Sitecore Send on your website. They will give you like a JavaScript asset, more like Adobe used to do and other application. You put this JavaScript in your header, HTML header, for all your pages that you need to integrate with Sitecore Send. What it does is that it will start tracking your user behavior, the clicks, any action the user will do, and send it back to Sitecore Send. And we'll also download the library that you can use to trigger Sitecore or to identify visitors. So if you send an email to someone and this user already browsing your website and he logged into your website, you can call this JavaScript function to identify him because you now have the email and have his name. You can register it back to Sitecore Send. So this will give you the omni-channel experience. The last step is that you need to subscribe to your mailing list. So you will embed one of the Sitecore forms, not Sitecore Send forms that you build in Sitecore Send, embedded in as an HTML in your website. There's multiple ways to do it, but the easiest one is inline embedding. You have the form in your website, and it's already submitting to Sitecore Send.